What's up everyone, my name is Hytro, and here is your mod showcase for Hytale. Today we will be showcasing the Weapons in Plenty mod by Donald1Duck50, also known as Ducko5000. So hopefully you guys do enjoy this video. Be sure to check this mod out. I will also make sure to link the mod and the creator in the description down below, so make sure to check that out. And whether you are a Hytale mod creator or viewer, if you want me to check out any mods or showcase them, let me know in the comments down below or in the Discord server of Vortex City. So yeah, hopefully you guys do enjoy, and if you're purchasing Hytale anytime soon, remember to use code Hytro. But with that being said, let the showcase begin. So let's start off by going into the inventory and let's see what we've got here. So the first thing we have, let's bring this down, is a baseball bat. Let's see, it has the regular sword poke animation. Here's what it looks like in hand. Very nice. And here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna do the same test that we usually do. So we're gonna go up here. We'll do a soak larvae this time. Let's see what's gonna happen. That larvae was done within 2 hits. Let's try a crawler now. I'm gonna spawn him in, and let's see how this goes. I think that was 5 hits, but I'll have to count that during editing. We're gonna go back here, gonna spawn in the void spawn, and we're gonna add someone new into here too. Although I doubt we're gonna get past him. Let's try the void spawn here. I don't think hitting a void spawn with a baseball bat was such a good idea. So that's 3 hits, that's 4, that's 5. This is a bad idea. That's 6 hits. That's 7. That's 8. That's 9. That's 10. That's 11. That's 12. I think that took 13 hits, if I'm not mistaken. This time we're going to add the Wrath up into the mix too, so I don't know if we're going to get past him, so let's see. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. He's probably going to get me. He got me. I got him in 3 hits. He got me though. But yeah, now that we're done testing out the bat, let's move on to our next weapon. Let me get rid of him first. Now that we're done with the bat, we're going to move on to our next weapon, which is a police baton. Alright, so this is the baton, so here's what it looks like in hand. Very nice. And now we're going to test it. Okay, so that was 3 hits, and I think what I'm going to do now, let me see, instead of having to go into survival every single time, there it is, visible to NPCs. So we'll do that. We already took down a larvae, so let's go and get the skeleton up out of here. That was 3 hits for sure. That was definitely 3 hits. That was 5 hits. That was 14. Every now and then I might go back into survival to make this fun again, but like if the mobs end up like almost killing me or so, then I'll just switch back to this. Try this again. It was 13 hits. Okay, so this did 13 hits. So yeah, that was the baton. And now let's move on to our next weapon. And our next weapon here is the battle hammer, which, okay, that speaks for itself. And as you can see, here's what it looks like in hand. Very nice. And also, it looks like it's a double hand weapon. So if we charge up, it has the same type of animation as like a battle axe. So yeah, let's test this thing out now. And I don't think we even need to try this on a larvae, so let's spawn in a skeleton, and I'll go into survival for this. That was 3 hits. Let's try a crawler now. He was also 3 hits. Alright, let's try the void spawn. Let's spawn him in, and let's see. So that void spawn got knocked down within 6 hits, I believe. So now let's try a wrath. The Wrath also got taken down within 6 hits. Okay, so this is quite a strong weapon. So yeah, once again, this right here is the Battle Hammer. So now let's move on to our next weapon. Our next weapon here is the Bloody Hatchet. So as the name implies, here's what it looks like in hand. And let's test this thing out now. It's a hatchet, so it may take some more hits to get these enemies down. So let's start off with a skeleton. And let's see. That was 4 to 5 hits. It was either 4 hits or 5 hits. And if this does not take the crawler down in 5 hits, then we're not going to move on to the void spawn or the wrath, because it will be simply too weak to do so. So let's put that down. Let's go. Okay, took him down in 4 hits. That was a close one. And I guess we're gonna move on to the void spawn. Spawn him in. And let's see. That's 9 hits so far. Took him down in 11 hits. I don't think we're gonna make it past the wrath now. That's 7 hits. That's 9 hits. I think that was 10 hits. Could be wrong once again, but that looked like 10 hits. And let me just go over here quickly. I'm gonna go deal with this guy right quick. And before we move on to our next weapon, let's change up the scenery a bit. Much better. So our next item is going to just be a bone, of all things. So let's test this out and let's see what's gonna happen. So here's what the bone looks like in hand. Very nice. And let's test this out like I said. We're gonna start off with a skeleton. This sounds like a crime, but hey. They already use bones as weapons, so why not? That was 9 hits so far. Okay, so he's down in 10 hits. Alright, let's move on to the crawler now that we've taken him down. For the rest of this video, we're going to stick with the rule. If it takes 5 hits or more, then we're not going to move on to the void spawn or to the wrath. And that is 6 hits, 7, 8. Alright, so that took him down in 8 hits, so unfortunately this will not move on. So let's check out our next weapon here. Our next weapon is a fire staff, so let's see. Here's what it looks like in hand. Very cool. And let's see, does this have a custom animation? Okay, so there's no poking animation. I'm trying right now, there's no poking animation. It's just charged up, so let's see, what can this do? Does this have a special animation? Oh. Okay. I'm gonna go into this mode so that you guys can see the animation better. So when I press Q, it burns the place. And now that I've switched out of that mode, we're gonna test this on some enemies. down. Was that exactly 5 hits? So there is something that I actually missed with this staff, and I wanted to go back over it. So when I said here's what it looks like in hand, there is a custom animation, or like a slower animation of like the sword slash. So here's what that looks like. I think aside from that, there's the fast slash, and then there's the slower slash. So let's see how this does. That's 14 hits so far. That looked like 22 hits. So I'm also gonna try again, but this time with the slower slash. Alright, we're at 10. I think that was 15 hits. So now let's try that fire command. That was 3 hits. So this thing is actually gonna move on to the void spawn and the wrath. So let's spawn in the void spawn. Okay, so this thing is 45 hits and beyond. So I'm gonna get rid of the void spawn now. I'm just gonna stop it there. Alright, one thing that I am curious about that I do want to try. I want to try the fire command on this void spawn here. So let's see how that goes. That could have been 9 or 10 hits. With that being said though, this thing gets a pass actually. So yeah, this was the fire staff, and let's move on to our next weapon. And our next weapon, you can't make this up. Our next weapon is gonna be a frying pan. So we have the frying pan here, but let's change our location once again. Here we go, much better. Now that we're here, here's what the frying pan looks like in hand. Very nice. And I don't think this has any custom animation. Yeah, it doesn't. So here's what we're gonna do now. Actually, there's a crawler right there. There's already a crawler and a void spawn, but before we do that, let's just spawn in our skeleton here. That was definitely 6 hits. Alright, so now that we've gotten that skeleton up out of here, let's try the crawler now, and I'm gonna go back into survival for this. Alright, so that was exactly 5 hits. But yeah, once again, this is the frying pan. So very nice. And our next weapon here is going to be a golf club. So here's the golf club. Here's what it looks like in hand. Very nice. And yeah, we're just gonna spawn in the same things again. Let's spawn in a cacti this time, and let's see what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna go into survival. Let's see how much health this thing has. So very close. I took it down in 4 hits. So that was for the skeleton. Instead of a crawler, let's do a Scarrick. We're gonna do a Scarrick fighter here. Let's see what's gonna happen. That took him down in 4 hits too, so I guess that means that we can move on to the void spawn. There's a sandstorm now. That was 5 hits. 6, 8, 9. So that took the void spawn down within 10 hits. So this golf club is actually pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Don't underestimate the golf club. Let's try a wrath now. That took the Wrath down within 10 hits as well. Okay, so the golf club is actually pretty strong. So yeah, that was the golf club. And our next weapon is a hot dog sword. So let me go back into creative so that I don't get ambushed. And here's what the weapon looks like in hand. Very nice. And yeah, we're going to go back to our same method and test this again, except we're gonna go to a different location yet again. That's better. And there's no sandstorm either. That took the skeleton down in 5 hits. That means that this thing has one more chance. So this thing took the skeleton down in 5 hits. It has one more chance with the Scarrick. And if it doesn't take down the Scarrick, then it can't move on to the Void Spawn or the Wrath. Took the Scarrick down in 4 hits. Okay. Maybe what I should also do, maybe alongside the Scarrick, I should still do the crawlers. So let me do that. Let's see. I think that was 2 hits. It took the crawler down in 4 hits as well. Let's test this out on the Void Spawn once again. That was 3. That's 4. That took the Void Spawn down in 9 hits. Pretty good. It took the Wrath down within 9 hits as well. So yeah, that was the hot dog sword. And now we're gonna move on to a Lego brick. Dude, what do you expect me to do with the Lego brick? What, you want me to put it under someone's foot and cause them immense pain? What is going on? This thing also sounds like a Lego brick in the menu too. I'm just noticing this. That's crazy. Let's put this in hand and let's see. Let me restore my health. Here's what the Lego brick looks like in hand. Very nice. I don't know if this is gonna get far. Maybe the Lego brick is strong. So I'm gonna spawn in a skeleton. Let's see how this does. I think that was 7 hits. Now we're gonna move on to that Scarrick. Put him down here. Let's see. Took him down within 5 hits, so this is not gonna move on to the Void Spawn or the Wrath. But yeah, this is the Lego brick. And next is a pickle sword. Yeah, next is a pickle sword. So here's what the pickle sword looks like. Get a skeleton. Let's see. That took that skeleton down within 5 hits. So gonna move on to the Scarrick and let's see what happens from there. Took the Scarrick down within 4 hits, so that means that it can move on to the Void Spawn actually. That was 3 hits. That's 4. That's 5, that's 6. That was 8. That's 9. Alright, so that was at least 11 hits, I think. So now, let's try the Wrath. Let's see what's gonna happen. That actually took the Wrath down, I think, in 9 hits. So yeah, that's the pickle sword. And next up is a pool stick, a pool cue. This is, a lot of this stuff here is very random. I haven't looked through the description of the mod, if I'm being honest, so a lot of this is new to me. Seriously, a lot of this is new. So Here's what the pool stick looks like, or the pool cue. Pretty nice. And yeah, with that being said, let's test this thing out. Let's spawn in a cacti once again. Let's see how this does. That took the cacti down within 4 hits. That took him down in 5 hits, so unfortunately this is not going to make it to the void spawn or the wrath. So again, that's the pull cue. So yeah, with that being said, our next weapon is a screwdriver. Let me bring all of this down. I don't even know what some of this stuff is. I think that was a plunger, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. So here's the screwdriver, and here's what it looks like in hand. Let's see, let's test this out. I'm still in survival too. That had to be 12 hits, and I think there's hyenas over there trying to hunt me down. So let me get away from here. Let's change the location. Nice, we've changed the location now, and there's no more hyenas. I think that was 9 hits, so because of that, this is not going to move on. But yeah, that's the screwdriver, so let me put that back. Next is a skateboard. So let me restore my health. Here's what the skateboard looks like in hand. Very nice. And also too, it has the scream face on it as a design, so that's very cool. We're gonna go with the skeleton again. Let's do this. That was 4 hits. That was 4 hits for the skateboard. For the skeleton at least. And that was 3 hits for the crawler. Okay, this is gonna move on to the void spawn, I guess. And that took the void spawn down, surprisingly, with 8 hits. That took the wrath down within 9 hits, I think. So yeah, that is the skateboard. And now let's move on. Our next weapon is a slipper. I am not even joking. Our next weapon is a slipper. Here's what it looks like in hand. Let's test this thing out. We're doing a skeleton, and I'm sorry, if you get taken down by a slipper, this is just disrespectful. So it took 13 hits to take the skeleton down. That was 4 hits. I think that's 7 hits now. And that was 10 hits. So this is not going to move on to the void spawn or the wrath. But yeah, this is the slipper. Next up here is a what? A tire iron? Oh, one of these. Let me heal up right quick. So here's what it looks like in hand. Very nice. For those of you who do not know what this is what you use to like change your tires and stuff. So let's see what exactly this can do. That's 5. That took the skeleton down within 6 hits. And that took the crawler down in, I think, exactly 5 hits. So this won't move on. But yeah, this is the tire iron. Next up, we have 2 left. Next up, we have a toilet plunger. This has to be a troll. This is crazy, bro. So, here's what the plunger looks like in hand. And yeah, let's test this thing out. Gonna spawn in the skeleton, and we're gonna test this out again. That was 2 hits. That's 4 hits. And it took the skeleton down within 9 hits. That was 1 hit. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. That's 6 hits now. So this won't move on, but yeah, this is the toilet plunger. This thing's gonna make a brown noise, by the way, if you have it in your inventory. So just fair warning. And our last item here is just a walking stick. So here's what it looks like. We're gonna do the same thing. So our skeleton is spawned in. Let's knock him. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3, that's 4. Quit walking. That's 5. That's 6. That's 7. That's 8. That's 9. That's 10. That was 11 hits. That was 2 hits at least. That's 4. That's 6. That's 8. I think that was 9 hits, so because of that, this is not going to move on either. But yeah, this was the walking stick. So yeah, there was some pretty bizarre stuff in this mod. So yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you did, please drop a like and subscribe, help the channel grow. But yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and yeah, there's one more mod here that Ducko5000 wants me to showcase, so that video will come out soon. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next Hytale video.